up, guys? Art from Prong, out here in the Windy City-ish. Gonna go over my kit with you today, in depth. Yes, we're getting into it. This is a 6-piece, I guess you could say, Crush drums and percussion Sublime maple kit. The finish is my own custom finish, which is not released yet, and I'm not even joking about that. But it's like a matte black. It's not very custom. We'll go over that later. We're gonna talk a little bit about the snare drum. I always used wood snares, literally until about maybe a year and a half ago, when the guys at Crest showed me this hand-hammered brass snare. I was always a fan of brass sounding snare drums, and they introduced this one, and this is a 13 by 7 hand-hammered brass snare drum, and this thing is a freaking gunshot. And I don't know if it's just the way that we tune it, but regardless, this snare is a gunshot. And what definitely helps is this Evans hybrid snare head. Now this snare head is actually made up with Kevlar. Like, I mean, you can't really put that to your head and put it, you know, shoot a gun, but it is made with Kevlar, and it's the strongest, most durable snare head that I've ever used. And this one, if you actually look in depth, this is about maybe 3 weeks of use, and I'm not going to change this head until maybe the end of the tour, which is another 2.5 weeks. It never loses its sound. With the toms, we're using a 10 by 6 and a 12 by 8 inch rack toms, with the classic G2 Evans new level 360 heads, which have been amazing to me. On the floor right here, we got a 16 by 16, yeah, 16 by 16, I believe, floor tom, one floor tom. Beastly. Everything is really punchy with the maple wood, US made. The toms sound phenomenal, if you know how to tune them right. 22 by 20 kick drums, maple. Everything is all maple still. I'm using the EMAD 2 batter heads right down there. And since we're down here, we're going to hit up these pedals. If you look at these pedals, these are actually, since we're in the Chicago area, this company is based out of Chicago. I've been with them since 2008 as well. Trick pedals. These are the Trick Dominator pedals, and they did me a little solid, and I've actually had my name signature engraved on there. No big deal. No big deal. Just throwing that in there. But if you want to go down, if you want to come follow me down in here, you may be able to see this blue laser down here. I'm not sure if you can get that. This is the Trick SB1 laser trigger system. It is the most accurate triggering system that I've ever used, and I think on the market. If you use acoustic drum triggers like Roland or D-Drum, that's cool, until you actually play the SB1 trigger system. Your mind will be blown on accuracy, and it's really amazing and comfortable to adjust to. I use Alesis electronics as far as sample pad. This is the Alesis sample pad, the most bottom end, low, cheapest you can get Alesis, but this is all I really need it for. We only have a few segues in the set with noises and stuff in the middle of songs. And the most important part for me is the sub bass drop, the 808, for that trap music, you feel me? Anyways, Prong uses some 808s, some shit. Down here, if you want to go in depth again, I got my personal mixer. It's just a really easy Samson, I believe it's a 6-channel mixer. It's a SM10, but I use the Samson mixer for in-ears. I'm actually not using in-ears on this run. I've been really relying on actual monitors with Prong, because we don't really, I like, you know, feeling the songs a lot more. When you have in-ears, it's great, but when you're playing stuff like Prong, it's too classy. You can't really mess around with in-ears. With the Alesis DM5 module, which has been used by, I can't even count how many metal drummers, but I use the Alesis DM5 setting is speed metal. It is a speed metal setting, and I only trigger my kick drums. That is it. I don't trigger anything else. Everything else is acoustic. So go back to we'll go to these cymbals again, in-depth cymbals. These are the Mino cymbals. Now we can start from this far right. This is actually an experiment that me and my drum tech Mike have been experimenting with, because technically, if I do this actually with you on camera, what we're actually using by itself is the Classics custom trash china, which is by Mino. And this thing sounds amazing by itself, and it's actually grown to be my favorite. But recently we just started to add a stacker just to mess around with something really, really, really gross sounding and awesome. So we literally just threw a Byzance bottom hi-hat on it, and that's literally what we're doing, and it's actually been sounding pretty cool. If you want to experiment, I think that's my best tip, is just always experiment with things and do it your own, because, well, you really don't know until you try. This is my MB20 rock china, 18-inch. I've been using this since the very beginning as well. I haven't really changed my cymbal setup at all, but this is a really amazing china. 22-inch heavy bell MB20 ride. Same thing. This is actually the second cymbal. Let me correct myself. This is actually the only cymbal that's lasted me since the beginning of me signing with Mino in 2008, and that blows my mind. So I've never had to change that out. MB20 heavy crash, 19-inch on the right-hand side. We can dip over just real quick right here. Sorry, I tricked you. See that? You like that? This is an 18-inch MB20 rock china. I'm sorry, heavy crash. My bad. Same thing, identical, just difference in sizes, 19 and 18, 19 and 18. These are the new Classic Customs Mino metal, extreme metal series cymbals, and this is actually a 10-inch crash splash that I've been using, and it cuts through just enough. It's not overpowering. It's really sturdy, and it's lasted me a while. The Byzance medium hats, traditional. Actually, are these traditional? I don't know. Yeah, these are the traditional hats, but Mike seems to clean them really well, and now they get some brilliance out of them. But these are the Byzance traditional hats. And on my left, I'm using the, again, Classics Customs extreme metal china. This is a 16-inch. A lot of fun. So if you actually take a look back, my setup itself is very symmetrical, aside from these two, but 2 chinas, 2 crashes. It's really fun and easy to come up with stuff when you can use both of your hands. So it's a really fun setup, really symmetrical, really easy, really simple, but almost identical from left to right. So these are trash, because we're in the middle of getting our new sticks, and they're not delivered today yet, but they're getting here. But I'll show you. I've been using these sticks, and as trash as they may look, I still use them, and the clarity is still there. But these are Vicford 2Bs, and realistically, if you see the accuracy, I've literally just been digging into these nonstop, and they haven't really broke. So I kind of just play them until they can't be played anymore, because we're all on a budget. So if you're not on a budget, cool, but we are. Actually, going into sticking on the Vic first stuff, these are the new Vic Gloves, and these things have saved my hands amazing. I can't even really tell you how much they've saved my hands, but I'm a heavy hitter, so these have saved my hands, helped my control, helped my grip overall, and this is a great product, new product on Vic First line, so definitely check out the Vic Gloves. This is my favorite, probably. Aside from a great stick and a great pair of sticks, these things have been lifesavers. I've been using a drum rack since I started playing. I was that asshole local band kid with an enormous drum rack, and I've had this rack since I was a teenager. My mom actually bought me this rack from Guitar Center, and I've been using the same exact rack. I've obviously adjusted and bought new clamps and new arms and stuff like that, but as far as the skeleton goes, it's the same exact rack that I've been using since I was 17 years old. But I just always found it being a little bit easier. As drastic as it looks, like holy shit, this guy's got a crazy drum rack, there's actually not a lot to it. Usually a lot of people use left leg, and then another leg, and then another leg, and then another leg. I literally just use 3 legs and 2 arms. I think I started that trend. I don't even know if there's any. The only other drummer I know is this guy Sean, my buddy Sean from a band called Carnifex, who actually does the same setup, not using like dual center legs, but it's just a lot easier to lug around in a sense of setting up and having everything stay the same, and it's been really consistent. And on that note, just as far as everything staying consistent in the drum rack, this guy, I gotta introduce you to this guy. This is Mike.
What's up, kids?
This is my drum tech, and tell me how easy it is realistically. I mean,
It's simple. It breaks down every night into 2 pieces, left and right, and we're back into the trailer.
that's literally it. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
So as drastic as it may look, and as crazy as it may look, it actually is more convenient to me than drum stands, and breaking down and setting up. And as far as a space containment, just keeping your space tight. A rack is almost, this rack specifically, the way I have it set up, is actually much tighter than stands. There's nothing booming out. Everything is contained. So I suggest drum racks. Fuck what everybody else says. Like, oh,
Exactly.
no, drum rack. Just get a drum rack. It's
so
so
much
much easier
than
and
using
it,
7,
and it
8
looks
different
cool.
cymbal stands.
It looks so cool. Oh my god. It looks cool. But yeah, man. I mean, that's the basic breakdown. Before I forget, actually, small addition. These are chromatic Simpad cymbal. They're not even felts. I don't even know the material, but these have been a dramatic change to my setup by Simpad, which is they make these cymbal felts that help project your cymbal sound and clarify your sound and actually control it. And they have been amazing to me and have been hooking me up since day one. So I recommend getting Simpad. And these are the red ones. They make different colors. I kept the red just because of our theme, the red and black theme. So those guys are amazing. But yeah, had to add that. Cool. And hey, man, thanks for dropping by and checking out my setup, checking out my rig. Definitely come back and see a Prong show upcoming, because we're going to see you out there. And ask me questions about my drums, because I answer all of them. Bye.